All right. Thank you so much for showing up to this week's review. This will be the week of the 16th. This has been an interesting week, I tell you. Profitable week for me, but I know market was a little weird. Or it would have been weird if you never understood what you were looking for or how to see the structural changes. But we're gonna go through how it is that the market would have played out, how we could have leveraged or better leveraged those opportunities. So, all right, let's jump straight into it. So you have market open, as you can see, this gap that is right here. So that's the first market open candle. Um, let's keep going and see what it's looking for, or more so, what are we looking for? So given that from what we're looking at, this is a downtrend because we know that a downtrend moves in this way. All right, that's a downtrend. And what makes it a downtrend is that it is forming lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So that's what we see up to here. When it created the next lower high, of course, what we're expecting is a lower low, but that's not what it did. It created a higher low, which meant the sentiment in the market has shifted. At this point, we know that an uptrend or a bullish trend goes higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and so on. That's what we know to be true as well. So given that a higher low is something that should be a part of an uptrend or a bullish trend, at this point when it is formed, we start to look in anticipation that maybe the market is signaling that it wants to create, it wants to change directions. Maybe now it wants to break through this lower high to create a higher high. Because it created a higher low. So maybe what it wants to do next is create a higher high and then pull back to do a higher low and then continue in such a fashion. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for either a break of this resistance here, this resistance area, or break up the highest point here, and to form a brand new candle above that area. If it does that, it then means that it has created a new high, and in this case, that new high is a higher high, which then changes the market structure and the market sentiment into being bullish, right? And if that's the case, if this created a higher low right here, we could, just for test sake, look at where the market is moving and see if it actually respected our Fibonacci levels for what a higher low is supposed to be for a pullback, right? For all of this area. And as you can see, the support line is the exact line of 2 points less, but it's the exact line of the 61.8% retracement level, which means that this is also a good enough point if we were holding from last week to have held. So that'll be very good. So now what we're looking for is for the market to push up, to continue its trend, give us a pullback, and then we would enter, right? Once it does this and hits the negative 27 and retraces, if it retraces at that level, then we would we would draw or Fibonacci tool again at this point to this point and see how that goes out, see how far it comes back to. It probably need to come back to here for a 38.2. That's a guess, but I think that's a good guess. And then we'll take it again to the same negative 27 or higher, depending on how the market is moving. But let's play this out. Speed this up slightly. All right. So what am I seeing here? What I'm seeing here is a way to get in because I'm expecting it to react here at this line and pull back because maybe it doesn't want to continue because this may just be a shift that is a false shift. Those things are possible. Or maybe it actually does want to break out and continue. That being said, this wick is a wick that gives me an indication that maybe the market is ready to continue bullish. So if I should draw a line here, let's use this instead, and see it reacting here. And I draw this line because this is a point of consolidation. And it also reacted at this point. Let me jump on the smaller time frame to see if this is true. As you can see, it did come back, test this point, also tested the support line, right? Support. Yeah, consolidation at that line, but nonetheless. And then continued up. So let's see if there's a way that we could understand what is going on here on the smaller time frames. Maybe not. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a push all the way up and a retracement. So it didn't go all the way up. It's coming back down. It broke through now. Well, hasn't yet broken, but it has created a strong bullish candle. The formation of a brand new bullish candle, this candle, is what signifies to us that it has broken this high. So it has now created a higher high. So the market has officially changed sentiment. So we're now looking for buys. Before we were looking for sells, but now we're looking for buys because the structure of the market has changed. Right? So we're looking still. And when it created this almost indecision candle, what are we doing? There's still no space. If we go on the smaller time frame, for us to have entered, the market would need to pull back to this point, and then we ride it all the way up. That's what we would look for. But again, because it didn't close and cover all of that, this is an indecision candle. We're still waiting. Let me see what the smaller time frame looks like. Yeah, we're still waiting for, better clues, I suppose. All right, it's still going up. All right, so this is the bearish confirmation. This is what we need. So if we jump on the smaller time frame, what do we see? Let's take it from the H1. We see that it's starting looking like it wants to pull back. Right? Let's come back here. Came back, dropped low, pulled back. Came down, gave a double top. It's looking good. So what am I looking for now? Is a retest of this line or something like that for me to want to enter. A counter trend, and let's be specific. This would be a counter trend trade. So if I should get rid of this, because as you can see, it has hit the negative 27, and put something new, it would look like this. Right? And I would write it all. If it is down to here, then it would be too small, for a good profit. 61.8 would be nice because it's still a level that, again, we did look at and is a point of concern. Not concern, but, yeah. All right, so I'll take the trade here, right here, based on this bearish engulfing pattern. This is on the M5, by the way, just in case you're wondering. This is 30 pips. Then, yeah. So when I enter here, let me pull this all the way over. I'm going to jump some time frames, right? So it may jump a bit. Just be mindful of that as I move. So as you can see, this is playing out that way. I just don't like going on the smaller time frames to see how the trade plays out. Because if it comes to here, as you can see, this is a strong point of resistance. It could be a point of support. So I'm mindful of that. Because as I said, this is a counter trend trade based on the H4 time frame. So let me jump up a little to see how it's going. This is the H1 we're now on. I'm actually a little nervous to go on the 4 hour because I'm not sure what's going to happen. Well, let's see. All right, so this is good. Let me widen this a little. So it could either come down to the 61.8. Let me draw a line there. Or it could actually come down to this support area. Or it could actually just react at this daily support. So let's see. It took me out. Anybody see that? It took me out. So that's one down. Took me out at 30 pips. Let me write -1 on this. -1. All right, let's see what this is doing now. So it didn't pull back as we anticipated. But it did react at this level right here with a massive indecision. Let me go back on the smaller time frame to see what this looks like. All right, and you can see that there's an area right here. Nice support level. A nice resistance level. All right, let's see. How would we enter if we're gonna enter this? We'd either wait until it comes all the way up, or when it breaks and retests. So let's see. All right, still going up. That wick at the top, right at this resistance area, is gonna be my entry signal. I'm gonna bet on it. There we go. So what are we looking for now? I don't know if you're seeing this or maybe you're not. But what this looks like on here, even though I don't trade patterns, this is a triangle. And because I'm expecting it to pull back, all I'm waiting for is some kind of bearish engulfing candle at the top of wherever this forms, either at this level or at the, we want to call this crossing of the lines, we would see. And I would enter a trade there. Boom. That's my entry. Almost right there too. That's actually funny. That's my entry. Remember, this is a counter trend trade. And because this is a counter trend trade, we're not looking for the things that we would before to, let's still do 30 pips because it only makes sense. We can adjust this on the larger time frames. I'll delete this for now. We don't need it. But yeah, let's jump on the larger time frames now to see how this looks. As you can see on the M15, it lined up properly. This looks like a railroad pattern. If you trade patterns, it's a railroad pattern, candlestick pattern that is. Looking very nice. This is a consolidation, as you can see, and it gave us the right kind of signals. Let's jump on the H1 to see what this looks like. All right, so we saw that it broke through a little. Let's move this down one. Oh, whoa. All right. All right. All right. All right. No problem. No problem. So if it broke through the 38.2, and I mean, it didn't finish breaking, but if it did this at the 38.2, I'm actually expecting it to come back to the 61.8, if this is what it did. But I don't know how true that's going to be. So again, I'm watching this carefully. And no, I don't want to go on the H4 to see how it looked. As you can see, it rejected moving further up. So what is it going to do for the next hour candle? All right. This is at the 50%. Now this wick below here, though it's a small one, it's still a little concerning for me. But when we went on the H4, as you can see, it's a strong candle. So let's see how it goes. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, this is at the 61.8, yes? So at this point, I don't know if I want to come out or not because I've not been given enough signals. So remember, we lost one here earlier as well. And this is a 30 pip loss, depending on how much you risk. That would have been an okay hit. And we're now at 182 pips. So from 30 to 182, that difference, that's 152. Not bad. um, I'm okay. So let's see if I get a signal to jump out or to stay in. Remember, we're still in a bullish trend. I should have carried this up here, by the way. So we're still in a bullish trend. So let's see. All right, I'm out. I'm out because this bullish candle that was formed at the H4 support. And I'm satisfied with 154 pips. Right? I'm satisfied. Very satisfied. Let's change this to +1. Very, very satisfied. All right, so what do we do next? Given that this is formed here, because this is now the trend that we're looking for, I'm fairly okay going back to the M5 time frame and was looking for an entry signal. So as you can see, the market came, consolidated right there, gave um, gave an inverted head and shoulders, right? Or almost inverted head and shoulders. This is the neckline, neckline right here. And then it started moving up, and you can see it reacted to this part of the neckline. So good enough signals, but we weren't trading at that point. We were still in our trade before. So now we need to look for an entry that we're willing to take. Let me delete some of these lines so we don't get confused. What am I looking for now is a break and retest of this area, right? Let's see if we get that because we're looking for the bullish change. If we don't get that break and retest, what we're actually going to look for, or what else we're looking for, is a test of this area, the area that is being formed now, or down here. All right, so we can move this because that didn't happen. Whoops. That didn't happen. So let's see. Will it test this strong support area? Nice indecision candle. Bullish candle. Boom. That's our entry signal. Right at the area. So we could have waited for this break and retest up here. To be honest, if the market moves up, breaks through, or when the market breaks through and retests, I may do a second entry. Because this is a clean structure break here. All right, so let's see. I'm now on the M15. Again, because it's easier to look at when we're continuing the trade. All right, it has moved up. So now let me jump to the 1 hour candle because, you know, maybe nicer. This is a nice double bottom. I don't know if you saw it before. This structure right here, right? On the M15 and also on the H1 if you're looking for it. And then we would take this now because it pulled back all the way to the 61.8. I'm actually looking for a stop at the 23.6. Because the 61.8 is so far, generally when the market has pulled back all of that way. Let me see if I can do something here quickly. Oh no, wrong trend. So when the market has gone up and pulled back, let's say this is a 61.8 level here. Yes, I expect it to go all the way back to here, but because of how far that is, I sometimes actually expect it to do micro moves in between that level before shooting up. That's normal. That's not a bad thing actually. So it would pull back close, like to the 23 area, pull back to the 50, either retest the 23 or go up to the 0, pull back again to the 23, oops, or somewhere there, and then home sweet home. So let's see. All right, so that has started. Let's see if we can jump in for a second entry. All right, that's actually a good way to end that. Let's see how far it pulls back. And it may not even always come all the way down here. Oh, this time it is. Let's see if that's what it will do. Nice wick. Strong bullish. I just don't like how strong that bullish candle is. It feels a little too strong for me. Because it would then mean if I do take this entry, the 30 pips would take me to this. I guess I could risk it. All right, let's try. All right, so we just made a second entry in. Let's see how that looks. All right, it pulled up, pulled down, testing, broke through. All right, I'm gonna jump on the larger time frame. This is, it's taking a while. These are the two, or this needs to be at the 23. Okay. Okay. All right. Don't feel too bad. All right. All right. Getting concerned. Not too concerned anymore. Wondering if it is a bad decision to make two entries. And it's coming down close to my. All right. Then it tested. As you can see, it is not moving beyond this support area, which is a good thing. Let me see how that looks on this. Yeah. So as I said, I took the entry here. So I could have waited probably until here. It's not too far off, or here. But that distance is not very far, so if I take it there, I could have taken it the other places, so that's fine. All right, let's now jump back onto our larger time frame to make this easier to look at. All right, so no, I didn't get stopped out. I just want to make it clear. Let me keep it here so you can see. This is what you're looking at, is this week. That's down here. That would have been below here if I do it on the bigger time frame. Let me just make sure that you're seeing what is going on. Let's use the 1 hour just for ease. Those wicks, man, those wicks get you concerned. That's why you have stop losses. At those consolidations, man. It's actually not a bad thing. It's doing a nice, I don't know what it's called. I call it an umbrella pattern, but I don't know what else. Where it makes this push like a round. I don't know if you're seeing. Can I freehand draw? Like you see this round thing that's coming. And it's gonna come probably down to here and go whoop. That's what I think anyway. I don't know what it's gonna do, but let's see. Let's see. Oh, I guess it stopped there. But yeah, but that's good. That's the round that I'm thinking of. It does this nice big consolidation and a massive downtrend. Well, not massive, but a strong downtrend. And then all of a sudden it's, shooting up. That's a usual pattern. I don't know what it's called. I call it a cup handle. I don't know. Anyways, cup or umbrella, whichever one works. I just never been able to catch it to trade, but I've seen it many times. All right, resistance right there, or support, I should say. Support. If I wanted to, I could have probably looked for an entry at this point, but that's fine. 2 entries is enough for now, because this is, what we're expecting. Boom! So we're out at 123, as well as, where's the other one? Oh, probably up here. Yeah. So it's 123. This is 92. Now, because of this nice indecision candle on the H4 that we saw, which I told you I was expecting, I'm looking for a pullback to the 50. Right? I'm looking for, as you can see, for us, for a pullback to be legitimate, we look for at least 3 candles to be going down, and then we call that a legitimate pullback. In this case, it's just a massive drop and another massive candle. So this right now is actually a consolidation right here. What is going on right here is a consolidation, because it didn't give me 3 legitimate bearish candles for it to be considered a full pullback. So until then, I jump onto my 5-minute time frame, and I look to see if there's any way I could get an entry in to also get a hold of this pullback that is going on. I just don't know if I'm going to get one. So let's see what it does. All right, I'll take this one. I can do one of two things. I can wait for this break retest, or the fact that this is a double top at the 23 level, I can take this strong bearish candle, which has no wicks at the bottom to see that it may not work. I'll take it as it is. Just jump on the M15 just to make this faster. And as you can see, it played out. But I'm taking this to the 50. So this will be a 1 to 2. Let's see what's on the H1. All right, so that's pulling back nicely. Let's jump to the H4 then and see how it goes. Whoa, Rock of Ages cleft for me. All right, it's going. So I don't set take profits. I only wait to see what the market is doing before I take a profit. In this case, I think I'll still keep it at the 50. I'll keep it at the 50. Let me tell you why. Because right here, where it ended, at the cup saucer, whatever you want to call it level, is one that is, I told you, I've never been able to trade this properly, but pulling back to this level is normal. So I'll take this trade here. Or better yet, since I waited for one candle, I played that candle, let me take it here. So it is a 1 to 2, right at the level. Right at the level, guys, right at the level. Good trading week so far, right? It didn't fully engulf. It happened where we wanted it to happen. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So here's what I'm going to do. Because it did what I wanted it to do, I'm going to take a risky trade. And I'm going to enter right at this candle formation. So I could have entered here, but of course I didn't. I wasn't looking at it that way. But this is a higher low that was created. I'm going to take it here. So either that or I wait for a break and retest somewhere, which could have been anywhere actually. But this just looks nice. I can't tell. This is probably just experience talking. Let's go on the M15. Let's see how this plays out. All right, the M15 is waiting on me. All right, H1. All right, cool. Let's see. Indecision. Let me go back here. Right, so I could have come again. It happened again, right? So I can enter here again. But I'm gonna, because one of my rules is I don't trade until. Oh wow, sorry. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to skip it. But it's fine. I don't enter more than one trade when I have negative negative balance or negative equity, I should say. So until this is positive enough for me to be able to make a second entry, so I can leverage more, then I would make another entry. All right, so it pulled back. Let's look at what that pullback was. Came all the way down to here, down to this level, right? Gave me a strong engulfing candle. Went all the way up. Now, if it breaks and retests here, it's a stronger area, right? Would be good. But let's see. Push up, push up, push up. Go back. No. Push up. Up, 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 and away. It's not coming back, guys. It's not coming back. It doesn't want to come back. It's not coming back. Not coming back. It's at the 50. I would actually be looking for it to go up to the 0. But the market is going to close in, let's see. in another, what time is this? 3 hours or so the market will close. Let's drop back onto this time frame. So what am I gonna do? I don't wait. I come out all of my trades at 3 o'clock. Well, it will be 4 o'clock for me. So I'll exit my trades at 2:30. So I have another hour to see what the market does. All right, I'm out at this point because the market is about to close. So I'll exit here. And this is 1 to 1.5. All right. Let's see what the last candle is. Okay. All right, I'm good. That would have been the trading week. So we lost one. I'll put up a, I don't think you can see the calculator on your side, but that's fine. I'm gonna just put a text box here. This should have been the first one we lost, which was negative 30, plus 154.7 plus 123.3 plus 92.5 plus 63.7 plus 45.9. That would have been, let me see, in pips, and if you're still using, just risking 1% of your account or 10% or whatever that may be. Yeah, different people do different things. 4.7 plus 123.3 plus 92.5 plus 63.7 plus 45.9. That would have been 450 pips in 1 week. And depending on how much you trade, in terms of how much you risk, if you're risking $10 or whatever that may be, I don't know how much you would risk, but this would have been a very good trading week for anybody if you did what I just did. Just looking at the pip values alone, not anything else. Trading is all about percentage growth or percentage losses. So I'm not really focusing on dollars right now, but as you can see, I did lose one here and I won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thereafter. So it is possible, right? So this is a good trading week. Not sure what to expect for next week as yet. I would say I jump back onto the H4. I would expect the market to maybe pull back all the way down to this level or to the 61.8 before moving back up. If we continue to label this, this would be a higher high. But then what happens after that, right? Oops. Yeah, sorry, let's delete those. And that's a higher high. Is this a higher low? Remember that I said that this is a consolidation for me. So what I'm expecting is for this market to not consolidate anymore, and for that, it would need to come down and retest here. It would need to retest this level at somewhere. As a matter of fact, because of how this looks, could actually draw a demand zone and expect it to come back, hit the demand zone, and push up. Right? And then if it comes back down to hit the demand zone, then and only then at that point will I consider this a proper pullback. Now, I was able to leverage this as a trade move, not necessarily because it pulled back to that level, but because it was reacting to the support area. That was the main reaction. So yes, it was at the 61.8, but it wasn't a legitimate um, pullback. It wasn't a legitimate pullback. It did react. It wasn't a legitimate pullback. So we're still waiting for that pullback to happen. And if I get 3 consecutive bearish candles, then for me that is a legitimate pullback. And then it would have been reacting to the 61.8, which should have been here. Once it does that with 3 consecutive candles, so I expect the market to actually open bullish and then open with a bullish candle and then pull all the way back. And then we would be fine. I would have been in heaven. If not, if that does not happen and it just continues to go up, I just shift this to wherever it goes or however high that is and wait for that move for us to create the pullback that we need or to label it so that we know how to make the trade. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. This is Geodon FX. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great trading week in the coming week. We are going to have fun.